Actually, ma'am, there was so many things going on in my house at the time. I was getting ready to take a shower, I'd woken up. And I came out of my bedroom, and when I opened the door, there was immense smoke all in my house. And I thought, what in the world is going on? And I walked into one room, and the smoke hit me more, and there were rolled up towels, there were rolled up rugs, all in my house. My daughter had drinking half a bottle of alcohol. It was the 3rd of the month. No one had paid me rent. My daughter came at me and attacked me, and we were fighting, and I ran out of the house. I ran next door to my neighbor's house, and I said, please, Lord, call 911. Next thing I knew, there was police officers all over my street. I was in a nightgown and a pair of hose, and I walked to the police car, and they put me in the back of the car. At 9:30 at night, I sat there till 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to watch the fire department come to my house. My daughter and another roommate were in my house. They had them come out and sit on the ground. When I called 911, 3 other people ran out of my house. They poured a mixture down my toilet and down my sink. And as you know, if you own a house, a car, a property, you are responsible for anything that you do. Be careful who you associate with yourself with. Do not get involved with anyone of whom I got involved with. Do not do drugs. Do not drink. Do not break the law, because this is not worth it. This is my life. I thank God that I believe in God, because He has really shown me a different path since I've been in here for 3 months. This is no place for anyone to be. You do not want to get yourself mixed up with anyone who breaks the law, anyone who's not honest, because this is my testimony that by the grace of God, I have 6 charges dropped yesterday. And I still have 2 to face. I have to go to a trial in the grand jury. I still have possession because it was my house. And I still have possession because of the precursors that are in my house to make meth. And I pray to God that I am this lucky to be sitting here. And I pray to God that He has given me the strength to say thank you, that I have rededicated my life to Christ. And I have a terrible name as Meth Mom. And now that Meth Mom will be turned into Christian Mom, because I will dedicate the rest of my life to Christ. And I just want to thank Jesus for all of his hope. And I want to thank all the people here that have helped me, and all my friends and my family that have helped me along the way. I want to pray for my daughter, and I want to pray for the other lady in my house. And hopefully their lives are going to change, and they will be blessed as well.
Tell me a little about yourself. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 children.
Okay. How old are they?
My daughter is 22, and my son is, he'll be 21 on January the 18th.
And do you own the house on Plymouth?
Yes, ma'am. I've owned the house for 10 years.
Okay. And let me just make sure I understand here. You were renting the house out. Start there, and how you came to be here.
And ma'am, I lived in the house. I knew the people in the house. I was aware of what was going on. I knew what was happening. And when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, help me. This is not where I want to be. This is not what I want to be doing. This is not what I want to be involved with. And unfortunately, once you associate yourself with people of that nature, that do things, that break the law, you can get so involved that I had to sit here in the last 3 months and say, I may never see the light a day again. One of my charges held 40 to 140 years. Being 56 years old, I could have done life in prison and never come out. And by the grace of God, my friends, my lawyer, I want to thank Miss Tanya Lomax for sticking with me and believing in me. I want to thank my friends who have other lawyers who also spoke with me. They know who they are. They believed in me, and I believed in myself. And it's been a very, very hard road, but I'm telling everyone out there, do not get involved in what I've got with, because by the grace of God, I am not going to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Were you renting the house out because you had trouble paying bills, or you had
Yes,
financial
ma'am.
issues? Tell me about that.
I was trying to start 3 different jobs, 3 different businesses. And I was always in home improvement. So as you know, the home improvement business is not very lucrative nowadays. And I was trying to start businesses, and I rented 2 rooms out. And I was aware of, you know, what the people did, but I didn't think it would get that bad in my house, or I would not have to face anything like that, what I did. And my daughter may have called 911, but my neighbors, and I want to thank you, Rob and Megan, for helping me do this and calling 911 and helping me and saving me.
How is it that you and your daughter got in a fight and she called the police on you? I mean,
She called the police after my neighbors called 911.
okay. But you and your daughter were fighting?
We were fighting. She was,
Physically fighting?
yes, ma'am. It was terrible. Physically fighting, because I'd ask everyone in my house to leave. The people that were involved, 3 of them ran out the door, and like I said, my daughter and Miss Dixon actually stayed in my residence.
If you had it to do all over again, what would you do?
If I had to do it all over again, I would have never gotten myself involved with what I got myself involved with. It's definitely a learning experience. It's definitely something that I will hold dear to my heart for the rest of my life. Praises that I learned, the 23rd Psalm, I mean, it's definitely true. There is a God. And this is definitely my testimony.
Well, how long were these people who you were renting to, and how many were there that you knew what they were doing? How long had that been going on?
The actual, when I called the police, the one day was severely bad. It had been going on for about 24 hours or so.
And how many people were involved?
It was,
Renters you had, or the
yes, it was actually 3 people that were involved.
3 people, 3 guys, 3 girls?
It was a woman and 2 men.
Okay. And where are they now?
I'm not exactly sure. They're probably on the run. They ran from my house. And like I said, I hope that God will move something in their life like He did mine, and make them see what they're doing is not right, that they shouldn't be doing things like this. I had no idea what it was, exactly what it was. And when I found out exactly what it was, I had no idea that my house could have blown up, the neighborhood could have blown up. It's terrible. And like I said, I thank God that I called 911 and that I'm here today to give this testimony.
In so doing, and it happened in 24 hours, were you able to get the money from it that you needed to pay your bills, to take care of your financial obligations?
No, ma'am. I received no money. I received no drugs. It's because I'm the owner of the house that I'm here. So that part wasn't about me at all. So I'm indigent. I may lose my house, my life, but that means I can start all over again because of my outlook and the way I feel and how blessed I am.
But that house was given to you by your grandmother. You inherited the house.
I inherited the house, but I had to of course, go get a mortgage on the house. During my fighting for my son and my daughter, I had to remortgage and that kind of thing. So I had a mortgage on the house, and I haven't had anyone out there to get in touch with my creditors for 4 months. I haven't paid a mortgage in 4 months for my house. I had an 800 credit score, and I no longer have that. And I pray to God that maybe somehow I can salvage my house, save my house, sell it, refinance. After 4 months, it's a little hard to do.
What will you do when you get out of here? What will you do now? What kind of business will you go into? How will you start over? What will you do?
There are many resources for someone who is in my position. I'm going to start a business. I would like to start a car business with my friend who has stuck by me with glue. A couple people have been there by my side, along with God, day in and day out, and they're also going to help me make it.
You're facing 2 felony possession of meth charges coming before the grand jury. I mean, those are felonies. They carry a lot of time. The penalties on those are substantial. How do you, what's your alibi? How do you get out of that? What do you say? How do you defend yourself on something like that? Those are serious charges.
They're very serious charges. I went to court yesterday. I was facing 8 charges, 5 misdemeanors and 3 felonies. And like I said, I have prayed to God the whole time that I have been in here. And God will move mountains. He will definitely move mountains. I requested that I go to the grand jury so that I can testify and let them know that I did call 911 and let them know that I did do wrong for letting people in my house and letting them do what they did. And sometimes you always can't control your environment when you're alone by yourself, but there's always a higher power out there that's going to help you out. And if I had found myself again in that situation, I would do it all over again. And for people to believe you and say that you called 911 for the betterment of your position in your house to save everyone that was in there and to make it better, it's not easy. But I have a lot of strong people, a lot of wonderful people in the jail have helped me. I'm in a lot of programs, and I'm learning to do everything all over again.
So you're a single mom.
Yes, ma'am.
And what programs are you in here in the jail? What are you doing here?
I'm in reentry, which is wonderful. It starts with the beginning of who you are and how to make yourself better and how to go on living your life. I'm in before and after, which Miss McDonald, I give the world to her. She's just wonderful. And like she says, it doesn't matter who you are or what you've been through. It matters that you start today. And this is my greatest challenge right here. Put it together my life again and go on and be a wonderful human being and to dedicate myself to the community and try to make up something for what I've done. Some type of volunteer work, something to do with the jail, to go on and minister and to tell people what I've been through and what I'm still going through. I still have a lot to go through. And they're facing those two charges. They hold 1 to 10, 1 to 15, and I could even get more than that. And that's a lot of time that I'm looking at, but by the grace of God, He's going to work something out to where maybe they'll give me the minimal time and not the maximum time.
Have your children been to see you?
No, ma'am. I have no idea where my son is. My son is a deputy in Windsor, Virginia, and a Marine. He may be fighting for our country. I tried to call my daughter once. There's no communication between my daughter and I pray for her. She's on my prayer list here in the jail. Also, I forgot my other program is Choices, and it definitely teaches you what choices that you should make in life and what choices you shouldn't make in life. So that's a great program as well.
So I want to understand, before I go, you were facing financial problems, and so you rented your house out to some unsavory types, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what led you here. I just want to make sure, is this what you're saying?
I was living in my house. I rented 2 rooms out. Yes, ma'am. And I let people come in and rent my rooms, and this is where it led. And it's terrible. I mean, and it can be so quick. You can let someone in your car, someone in your house, and this can happen to you too. And you have to be very careful the choices that you make and the people that you choose to be around. You have to be so careful because you have no idea what can happen to you in that split second. This is what happened, but I knew my God-given instinct was to call 911 and to get help. And no matter where it led me, I'm here, and it's a testimony that I will never forget. And I will pray to God that I will always lead my life like this to the grace of God, and I owe all to God, the higher power.
Didn't you smell the meth being made or the smoking or what? I mean, how do you not know that this is going on in your house?
When I'd opened my house, I had slept for about 4 or 5 hours. They had rugs and everything rolled up in my house, towels wet, fans going out the window, and I smelt it. But when I opened the door, it hit me, and that's when I started choking and coughing and everything. Absolutely terrible. It was only one little jar in one room and one little jar in my utility room. It was just a little tiny jar, but the smoke was unbelievable, terrible, and I knew I had to make it stop.
So what'd you do?
That's when I walked up my living room. I said, everyone out of my house, I'm calling 911, and my daughter and I got into it. Ran outside to my neighbor's house. They called 911 for me, and this is where I'm at.
Anything else you want people to know about you, or what you want to say to people about the meth mob, and what do you want people to know about you?
It's very hard to sit here and say that I'm meth mom, which after today, I no longer want that term. I want to be known as Christian mom, because if it wasn't for God, I would not be sitting here And like I said, it's not worth it, no matter what you're trying to do, no matter what type of money you're trying to make, no matter who you're involved, no matter what you think you can do. And for anyone that's incarcerated, if they think they're going to go out there and do it again, this is where you're going to end up. This is no place for anyone to be. This is where you go to learn not to do the things that I did and to be involved in. And once you're involved, it's so hard to get out of. And you have to learn to do everything all over again. You have to go in programs. You have to dedicate your life, and you have to believe that there is a way out and a better place for you to be and a better life for you to have. And that's what everyone needs to know about what I've been through.
So your mantra now is hope.
Yes, ma'am. Hope and faith. And there is a God. And if no one believes that God can move mountains, yes, he can move mountains. There's no doubt in my life, because I have come so far. When the 6 charges got dropped yesterday, it was because of what they believed and what they knew, and the testimony that I have given them and the things that they actually saw. Or I would still be charged with all of those charges, and I would never see the light of day, and I would have to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Does your daughter do meth?
She said that she didn't. And that's what is so strange, because everyone was in my house. And no, not one 911 call was ever done until I did it.
I mean, how did she come across these people, or how did she know these people that were doing this?
She had come home from work, right?
No, she had come home from work. She was in my house. It was going on. I was in my bedroom. I came out, and we got into it, and I was fighting my daughter, and I said, oh my God, what is going on? And after I called 911, she had also called 911.
Have you ever been in jail before?
Unfortunately, I've been through the same thing 25 years ago. And I let someone come in my house, sell something in my house, and I thought this will never happen to me again. And I have been a good citizen and a good mom, and I've led my life well for 25 years. I've been in my house for 10 years. I've called officers to my house. This has never happened to me before. But like I said, it only takes a split second to get involved with people that you may know, that you think that they may do something, but when they bring something in your house and you do it and you don't understand exactly what it is until you're in the middle of it and until you're incarcerated, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just be careful who you're around. And if you don't know enough information about something, find out about it. Find out exactly what those people are into or what they're doing before you place yourself in that situation.
What did they do 25 years ago?
My roommate had let someone in my house, and they sold something in my house, and it was like a sting operation. And back then I said, this will never happen to me again.
What did they sell in your house then?
They sold cocaine in my house, and I wasn't even there. And they had made a deal to do this 2 weeks later. And when he was walking towards them outside my house, they had actually arrested him and put him in jail. Same thing happened to me, except 2 weeks later, they came and knocked on my door and I didn't even own the house then.